Major revelation. India deploys 12 ready-to-fire nuclear weapons for the first time. Hello and welcome to DNN Voice of Nation. Today we analyze a development that is making headlines across the world and could have far-reaching implications for South Asia's security, India's military doctrine, and the global nuclear balance. According to latest report from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, India has for the first time deployed 12 nuclear warheads in an operational state. If true, this represents one of the most significant shifts in India's nuclear posture since it became a declared nuclear weapon state in 1998. But what exactly does deployed mean? Has India changed its long-standing nuclear doctrine? What is happening now? And what message that is sent to China and Pakistan? Let us break down. This is Amit, your host, and you are watching DNN Voice of Nation. Welcome to our special program, the news analysis. Now, viewers, what has the SIPRI reported? The latest SIPRI yearbook estimates that India now possesses approximately 190 nuclear warheads, up from around 180 earlier year. More importantly, SIPRI estimates that 12 of these warheads are now deployed with operational force rather than remaining entirely in storage. For decades, analysts believe that India followed a reassessed deterrence posture. Under this system, nuclear warheads were generally stored separately from the missiles and aircrafts. This arrangement increased political control over nuclear weapons and reduced the risk of accidental or unauthorized use. However, SIPRI now suggests that India may have moved some warheads closer to launch systems, particularly within the growing sea-bound nuclear deterrent. This does not necessarily mean nuclear weapons are on here trigger alert, but it does indicate a high level of operational readiness than before. Why is this a big deal? Viewers, to understand the significance, we must first understand India's nuclear philosophy. India has long maintained the three core principles. First, a policy of no first use. Second, a doctrine of credible minimum deterrence. Third, strict civilian control over nuclear weapons. The purpose of Indian nuclear arsenal has never been to match larger powers weapon for weapon. Instead, the objective has been simple: convince any advisory that a nuclear attack on India would result in unacceptable retaliation. This is what deterrence means. For years, India demonstrated this capability without keeping nuclear weapons operationally deployed during peacetime. Now, SIPRI's assessment suggests that India may gradually evolving towards a more responsive and survivable deterrent posture. The submarine factor needs to be discussed here. And what is that, viewers? We will discuss. One of the most important clues comes from the India's expanding fleet of nuclear power ballistic missile submarines, known as SSBNs. Unlike land-based missiles, submarines can remain hidden deep underground water for extended periods. This makes them extremely difficult to detect and destroy. Military strategists consider submarine-based nuclear weapons the most survivable component of the nuclear trade. India's nuclear trade consists of aircraft capability of delivering nuclear weapons, land-based ballistic missiles, sea-based nuclear force operating from submarines. SIPRI suggests that some of the deployed warheads may be associated with deterrence patrols conducted by India's SSBN fleet. If that assessment is accurate, India is strengthening its second strike capability. In simple terms, Even if India were attacked first, it will still retain the ability to respond. And this is the essence of nuclear deterrence. The China dimension. Another important aspect of SIPRI report is China's growing nuclear arsenal. According to SIPRI, China continues to expand its nuclear capabilities rapidly and is modernizing long-range missile force. India's modernization efforts are increasingly focused on the ensuring that it maintain a credible deterrence against a much larger and technological advance Chinese nuclear force. This doesn't mean India is entering an arms race. However, strategic planners in New Delhi must ensure that India's deterrence remains credible in changing security environment. The lessons from the recent geopolitical tensions, military standoffs, and advance in missile technology are impossible to ignore. Now, what about Pakistan? Pakistan remains a central factor in India's nuclear calculation. SIPRI estimates Pakistan arsenal at roughly 170 warheads. Unlike India, Pakistan does not officially follow a no-use policy. Its doctrine relies heavily on the possibility of first use to offset India's conventional military advantages. This difference has shaped South Asia nuclear balance for decades. For India, maintaining a survival second strike capability is viewed as an essential, preventing nuclear coercion from any adversity. Has India changed its no first use policy? At the point, there is no official indication that India has abandoned its no first use doctrine. The distinction is critical. Deploying a limited number of warheads does not automatically mean change in nuclear doctrine. It simply means the operational readiness as part of the deterrent may have increased. India's official position continues to emphasize deterrence, resistance, and retaliation rather than first use. Therefore, the current development should be viewed as an evolution in force posture rather than a declared shift in doctrine. The bigger global picture. The SIPRI report comes at the time when global nuclear risks are rising. According to Institute, nuclear armed states around the world are modernizing their arsenals and increasingly relying on nuclear weapons as instrumental of national power. The United States, Russia, China, India, Pakistan, and other nuclear powers are investing in modernization programs. In this environment, India appears determined to ensure that its deterrent remains credible, survivable, and effective. So, what is the real significance of this report? The number itself, 12 deployed warheads, is less important than what it symbolizes. It suggests that India may be transitioning from purely reassessed deterrence model towards more operational ready nuclear posture. It reflects growing confidence in India's nuclear trade, especially its submarines-based deterrent. It highlights changing regional security realities involving both China and Pakistan, and it signals that New Delhi is adapting its strategic capabilities while continuing officially to uphold its no first use doctrine. Whether this makes the beginning for long-term transformation or merely a limited operational adjustment remains to be seen. But viewers, one thing is certain: the strategic landscape of Asia is evolving rapidly and India's nuclear posture is evolving with it. What do you think? If this is this a necessary step to strengthen India's deterrence, or could it increase regional tensions? Let us know your views in the comment. If you found this analysis useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to DNN Voice of Nation. And please do press the bell icon so that you will get notified for our upcoming videos. See you in the next episode of the new analysis. Till then, this is Amit saying goodbye from DNN Voice of Nation. Jai Hind.